Today what you have witnessed is the destruction of 2 lakh kgs of ganja, 2 lakh kgs or 200 tons of ganja which has been seized by police and ACB over last 1 year. There has been a crackdown on the ganja trade, the ganja smuggling, the ganja network which is ongoing since several decades from this agency areas of Andhra Orissa border and Andhra Orissa and even Chhattisgarh areas. Since last 1 year the government has given us a mandate to undertake this kind of a drive to curb these illegal activities of ganja trade, ganja smuggling, and there is a network of mafias who are been operating in particularly these states of Andhra, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, and the ganjas have been taken to all parts of the country. So over last 1 year there has been a concerted drive to curb and crack down on these activities, and what you see today, we have destroyed the ganja seized over live to curb and crack down on these activities. And what you see today, we have destroyed the ganja seized over last 1 year, which amounts to 200,000 or 2 lakh kgs of ganja. And I think this would be the largest such seizure and destruction, not only in our country but even otherwise. And this is, as I said, mostly from the border areas of Andhra, Orissa. There are about 11 mandals or 2 districts in Andhra Pradesh where the ganja is grown predominantly, and we also have about 23 districts across the border in Chhattisgarh, and then also the area of Odisha and Chhattisgarh. And another feature about this area is that this is predominantly again Maoist infested, Naxal infested area, and the Naxalites and the Maoists have been encouraging this trade mainly because of their revenues. They were also collecting from this trade, benefiting out of this trade. Even the middlemen were mostly exploiting the tribals, innocent tribals from these interior areas. So not only this crackdown on that trade, a network of ganja across the country, but also we have launched is harvested around middle of November, December, and couple of 1 or 2 weeks of early January. So we launched this Parivartana campaign, again at the behest of the government and particularly our Honorable Chief Minister, who has been very, very concerned and particular about eradicating the roots itself. And this is a decade, over several decades we are facing this challenge and this situation. So this time around, in a very concerted manner, collaborating with other stakeholders within the government, like we have the Forest Department, the ITDA, the Tribal Development Authority Agency, the Agriculture Department, Revenue Department. So all the departments of the government got together, and not only that, we also had a meeting on the 1st of November, a strategy meeting to deal with this menace of ganja, wherein all the neighboring states we all came together, Odisha, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and also the central government agencies like the Narcotic Control Bureau, the DRI and ED as well. And we deliberated and then came out with our strategy to devise ways and means and the kind of intervention necessary for in place. I'm sure that with this destruction in this season, the crop, there would be, it will curb to a very large extent the availability of ganja from these areas at least. And we are also coordinating very closely with Orissa We were in touch with DG Odisha, and they were also undertaking this campaign from that side. And another redeeming feature that we see is that amongst the tribals, the Girijans, today the situation is very different. Earlier, because of the left-wing extremists, Naxals, the Maoists, who were holding sway over these areas, they were kind of encouraging the tribals, along with hand in glove with those middlemen who were, promoting and encouraging these activities and things. So the sway and the whole of the Naxals also has watered down. That is again, at the same juncture, the government of Andhra Pradesh had undertaken several developmental schemes across the state, and particularly targeting these weaker sections in the society, the tribals and the Girijans particularly. So these schemes are all reaching the beneficiaries directly. So today the tribals and the Girijan population, there's a sense of they're all reaching the beneficiaries directly. So today the tribals and the Girijan population, there's a sense of wellness prevailing amongst them. Their livelihood is not a matter of challenge or a question as what it was even as late as last year. So because all these programs are reaching the beneficiaries directly, there is a direct transfer, and there are no mediators like in the past. The government has also introduced this concept called village secretariat. So basically it is like administration and governance and service delivery at the doorstep itself. So every village has a village secretariat, then every village has volunteers. So these volunteers go about distributing all the the program schemes to the beneficiaries directly. So they are the tribals themselves are extending that kind of a service to the tribals. Then that village secretariat is also comprising of the local tribals itself. So the question of middlemen who were traditionally exploiting the tribals is not there. And very fundamental issue was ownership of land. So the rights, the tribal rights to the land and the forest around them, right to their livelihood, you see, for whatever reasons, or using technology, using outreach programs, and with all the stakeholders coming together. We also had a situation wherein the villagers, the Girijans, the tribals themselves have come forward and destroyed the crop because they were saying that hitherto nobody reached them, nobody bothered, nobody cared, no government agency even came to them. So now they are willingly coming forward. They're realizing the ills and the fact that they were being exploited. And if at all these innocent tribal boys used to get, entangled in criminal cases as well, being exploited by these middlemen and the mafia. So during this period, last 3 months, we were able to arrest about more than 500, the mafia criminals from outside the state, from other states, like even Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, UP, Bihar, Maharashtra, Mumbai, Telangana, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Almost about 100 of them were from Tamil Nadu. So who were, running this network or involved in organizing and orchestrating this, the distribution. So the crackdown is not only in this, the transshipment network, but also the front end and the rear end as well. So we are really breaking the prevails in these agency areas, and that also has made the Naxal and Maoists also redundant, and the atmosphere there is also changed very dramatically, and then has become more receptive and hospitable to the security agencies and the government agencies coming into those areas. This ops parivartana, the destruction of this ganja crops, we also used a lot of technology, digital technology. We also used remote sensing, imagery, using artificial intelligence to try to zoom down on these clusters and the pockets where the ganja plantation could be visible, and then plot them, the geo coordinates, and then zoom down on them and then destroy them. So using technology, using outreach programs, and with all the stakeholders coming together, we also had situation wherein the villagers, the Girijans, the tribals themselves have come forward and destroyed the crop because they were saying that hitherto nobody reached them, nobody bothered, nobody cared, no government agency even came to them. So now they are willingly coming forward. They're realizing the ills and the fact that they were being exploited. And if at all these innocent tribal boys used to get,